Hi.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
All right, mate. Yourself?
I'm doing pretty good for a Thursday night in Australia.
Yeah, I saw you were in Australia.
But we're talking about Chris Slade Timeline because that's what is out now. So it's a really eclectic collection of songs, I've got to admit. When it came to putting it together, what was your goal when putting it together?
A very similar goal to what we do on stage, actually, which is for a start, number one, entertain people, uh, show off the band, um, with the hope of getting some gigs anywhere, Um, so like a shop window for the band. And I'm very pleased with the way it's worked out, actually, because on stage we do 2 hours if if enough time. We do an hour of AC/DC and an hour of Manfred Mann's Earthband, Jimmy Page, David Gilmour, Uriah Heep, um, Asia. So we mix it up like that. And I know we've done it in a way to entertain people because after 2 hours, and we say this is the last song, everybody complains.
Yeah.
So, so we know we're doing something right.
I have
So, and the band is stupendous, if I say so myself. They really are. They're tremendous musicians, all of them. Um, James Cornford is a amazing guitarist. Um, and he and Michael Clark on keyboards and second guitar um, is have been working together, playing music together since they were 11 years old, and they're 35 now. So it's a great team, and they're a tight unit. And we've got two singers.
yeah.
Bun Davis is the AC/DC guy and the rockier stuff. And Stevie G is the Earthband stuff, and David Gilmour, and he also plays bass in the band. It's a great year. We've been together 12 years.
Yeah.
Same people.
I will say to everyone, besides going out and grabbing a copy of the album, I actually recommend everyone visits YouTube because you get a much more of a sense of the honesty of the band. There's no there's no pretense when you watch the band in these videos. It's just a bunch of blokes having a good time playing good music. And
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, that's a very good way to put it. And we hope we will take the audience along with us. That's the whole idea.
yeah,
Um, to go through time, because really it's a history of rock and roll. Um, in timeline with the show that we've got, it's a history of rock and roll. It's from the '60s right through to now.
yeah,
So it's comprehensive, shall I
yeah.
say?
And the
But you're
thing,
right about the eclectic. It's a
yeah.
diverse collection of songs.
And people may not know just how differing your drumming has been over the years. Yep, you played on Thunderstruck, but when you listen to things like The Firm, there isn't like Jimmy's not straight up rock. He has very eclectic styles, but even Manfred Mann, there's some pop stuff, but there's also some very proggy stuff too. So um,
Yeah.
you brought it all together on this album. When you went back and rediscovered tracks that you wanted to look at, was there any that didn't make the cut that might be on a volume two?
There are a lot actually. We've been recording for 10 years. Um, it's always been covers. It's only the last 2 or 3 years that we've done original music. I sort of got it in my head that I could write melodies, and that's where it started from. I've always written lyrics, even if they haven't been used, and I've been doing that since the '70s with Earthband. So it was great that I found that I could write not just a singing melody, but a bass line, a string melody, a guitar arpeggio. Even if I can't play guitar, okay, but I can go dang, dang, ding, 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 dong, and I can sing in tune. I've always been able to do that, but I always say I've never had a voice like Tom Jones or, you know, uh, Paul, Paul Rogers and David Gilmour. I don't have a voice like that. And so I never attempted. I always sung the demos for the guys to learn the songs, my original songs, that is. But I've never been brave enough to put myself on the line to. Well, I actually I didn't have the how can you put it, the meme, if you like, to be able to write melodies. And it suddenly 2 or 3 years ago, it suddenly came to me that I can do melodies. I've tried in the past and I have succeeded, but to no great success actually. So I thought I'd give this a go, and I'm really pleased with the way it turned out.
You talk about Tom Jones. Now, I think about Tom early in the career, like that was a lot more like swing and jazz with some pop elements. So I read a quote from you recently where you actually said that AC/DC is basically pop melodies to heavy metal music. So they don't really stray that far from Tom Jones when you consider it in the grand scheme of things, do they?
No, they're very clever, actually, extremely clever. They got themselves put into the heavy metal section of every record store in the world. And that's a clever move, man, because they know the heavy metal band, that they're actually a couple of genius songwriters. Well, when Bon was around, three genius songwriters. So, they know how to write a song and they know how to arrange a song, which is more important or just as important as the song. They know where to put the chorus, the bridge, whatever. So it's, and not everybody can do that properly. Not even successful bands. Not all of them can do that properly. So it's an art, and they are right on top of it.
Well, speaking of success, do you think Bruce Springsteen has ever forgiven Earthband for Blinded by the Light?
Probably never.
But I'm sure his bank account doesn't mind it.
No. I saw Max Weinberg last century. He came to see the firm. And he came backstage. And Max Weinberg is, for those who don't know, is the drummer of Bruce Springsteen on the E Street Band. And I said to him, "Hey, man, I got to tell you, I was the drummer on Blinded by the Light." He said, "Whoa, man, that kept us going for lots of years." So, the royalties that came into Bruce, it helped him with the band, keeping the band going. And so it must have helped him in his career, Suddenly people had heard of Bruce Springsteen, those who wanted to. Some people don't even know today that Bruce Springsteen wrote Blinded by the Light. Manfred arranged it, of course, made like a pop arrangement out of it. And I'm sure, as you say, Bruce has never forgiven us.
Yeah. Now, you talk about the Firm, 2 albums, and there's a really great live video on YouTube, which I don't know we'll ever see the light of day, like in a Blu-ray form or an upgraded form, but it gives a very good idea of what the band was like. But how close did you guys ever come to working together again, or was it just it was done in that time?
Well, we were always trying. Tony Franklin, especially, was trying to put us back together. He nearly succeeded. We were going to get back together, and then this little unknown band started to do stuff called Lead something or other.
Yeah,
Lead.
those guys.
Yeah, thems, Zeps.
Yeah.
Got back together. So that knocked the head on the Firm. No more was ever said after that.
Is there anything in the archives that hasn't seen the light of day?
I don't know. I can't remember. And you have to ask Paigey that because I don't know.
Now let's move on to drums. I am a tragic drummer who really should practice more.
Sounds like me.
Well, you've done pretty good for not practicing, Chris.
Yeah, well, I
who are you
hardly
into
ever
today?
practice, to be honest. And people will
Really?
say when they hear this, oh yeah, I can tell. You can tell by the way he plays. I practiced a hell of a lot when I was a teenager. I turned professional when I was 16, so I was always working, except for the time when we couldn't work, when we first went to London. So I was always on the road and always working. So that counts as practice, really, because I was doing, if I wanted to try something out, I could. And in those days, 60s and 70s, you were able to try things out. These days, it's got to be perfect and with recording tapes and all sorts of things going on at the same time. So you never know what you're listening to, really.
Yeah.
We never use any recorded backing tracks or anything of any kind, either music or vocals. If we can't do something, say like the bell in Hell's Bells, it goes on the keyboard to be played that way, which is what a lot of people do these days. But they also a lot of people use backing tracks.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but I don't even like playing the backing tracks. I never have. And I've had to do it in the past. Not nice.
When it comes to playing drums, do you think a drummer is always best a little behind the beat, a little bit more open, or attacking over the top?
No, well, a bit of both, actually. But you've got to have a laid-back snare, in my opinion, that is. Doesn't mean everybody plays that way or wants to play that or can play that way. But I like a lazy snare, as it's called. In USA, it's known as playing in the pocket. And I think that says it. It's like being in the right place at the right time with whichever hand or foot that you're using. So they call it pocket playing, like in the pocket playing. And I think that's a good description. And I saw somebody in the 60s, and I said, that's the only place that backbeat can go on the snare is where he's putting it. And so from then on, that was it. I've been playing that way ever since.
Yeah. And I think there's a quality to an English drummer. No offense to American drummers, Australian drummers, but English and, more of that 60s British band kind of feel into where, like yourself, Roger Taylor, people like that, where the drums served musically, there was a lot more musicality in the drums, like, Roger Taylor starting from his floor tom and working backwards for a fill rather than just, playing down the same way. Do you think that the drums have lost some musicality in today's music?
I don't hear many drummers, to be honest.
Yep.
Unless there's a support band on with us. What's this? My sons actually keep me up with this, especially my youngest son, Jack. They're both drummers, by the way, both my sons. But people like Casagrande, tremendous drummer, tremendous.
Yeah.
So I sort of hear things like that, of course, because I get sent it by my sons. But as far as how generally people are playing, I don't know that. So I'm sorry, what was your question on that?
Well, for me, do you have a favorite drummer to listen to?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be Buddy Rich, of course.
Yeah.
That was 60s. That was, when I first started. And you can still listen to him, and he's a tremendous player, still, of course. Then there was Tony Williams, who was Miles Davis's drummer when he was 16, I think.
Yep.
Tremendous player. Not with us anymore, unfortunately. There's so many great players out there. So many. Neil Peart, bless him, who's no longer with us.
Yep.
Great player. And there's so many like that. They really are. Drummers are. One of my friends, is he plays with the band Styx. Todd Sucherman.
Yep.
He's I've seen him when he's not playing in Styx and playing just in a pub, like messing around. One of the greatest drummers I've ever seen in my life. Todd Sucherman.
But then again, when he's playing with Styx, it's a stick show, so he sort of has to stay on the course. He's got to
play to a script, He's got to play to a script. It's his script, but he's got to stick to it.
Yeah.
Because if you go off piste, the band don't know where you are, where you're going.
Yeah.
And Todd can play in 27 different time signatures at once. So, I mean, if he wanted to, he does a great gig with Styx. I've seen him. He looks great there, but you want to see him play free,
Yep.
Like no script to play to, just playing covers and things in a pub. Tremendous. So that's in my answer to you. That's that's my take on I've always I don't go around actively listening for great drummers anymore. Of course, I know them when I hear them.
Yep.
I'm a bit too long in the tooth to go looking for talent, if you like.
Sure.
It's like Mick Box and Uriah Heep just say, he's a great guitarist. He's going to get the letter bomb.
Nice. Now, the one thing that in researching this, I didn't realize that at some point you were due to work with Rick Dufay, who held down the fort in Aerosmith for a few years when no one else could. Is there any recorded material with you and Rick?
Yeah, I think we did a whole album, actually. Rick has actually given up the business to the greater extent.
Yep.
He lives in LA, as far as I know. The last time I looked, he was there. And we got on well. he wasn't doing any. He was drinking, but he wasn't doing any of the funny stuff.
Yep.
Um, I've never done any drugs in my life ever, and neither does Tom Jones. It wasn't in our makeup growing up. Wasn't in our culture at all. Drug taking. We were a little bit before that. Thank God, is the way I
Yep.
see it. Plenty of booze, because that was our culture.
Yeah.
But no drugs. And as far as I know, as far as I know, neither have AC/DC. That's my take. Angus has never drunk in his life. He got drunk once when he was 13, and he's never drunk since. So it's and people can't get their heads around that, because he's a wild man on stage. And they go, how can he be like that? That's him, naturally.
If he drank, he'd be so dehydrated he wouldn't make it through 2 songs.
Yeah, there you go. And they do it over 2 hours in a show. He can't run around like that if he was drunk as a skunk. He just can't. People get the wrong thing. ZZ Top. Remember them?
They're great.
They used to be on stage. I did some shows with them, with Earthband.
Yep.
They're on stage swigging away at a bottle of Jack. And I was on the plane with them once, or more than once, and got talking to them. And the bass player said to me, Jack, swigging out Jack in a bottle? I said, yeah. He said, it's cold tea.
Yeah.
So, you mustn't be, this is show business, folks.
Yep.
It's just, it's like a wrestler pretending to be concussed or something, and staggering around the stage, like, oh, he's going to fall over. Oh, no, he's got up and he's won the bout.
Whatever puts the butts on seats.
Exactly. It's show business.
Yeah.
It's not reality. We are there to show you who live in reality that we can have a lot of fun on stage, but sometimes it's not real.
Yeah.
People take it so seriously sometimes. It's not real, folks. Now, Angus going wild on stage is real. He does go wild on stage. But he's not under the influence of anything. And people miss that point. They go, this is AC/DC. I'm you saying this, you're, apart from dispelling any visions they have of the band, we're not comatose backstage, When I was there the first time with the Razor's Edge tour, nobody drank at all, out of respect for Malcolm.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't drinking at that time, so none of us drank. In case, it sent him off again.
Yeah.
So for that whole Razor's Edge period, I didn't drink much alcohol at all. Me, Brian, and Cliff used to nip out to a Japanese restaurant to have some beer and some sake occasionally. But that was it. And we were never joined by Angus, He didn't imbibe. And he doesn't imbibe.
He seems very together.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Now,
and he's very interested in history.
Okay.
Believe it or not. I don't think he knows much about rock music, to be honest. I don't think he's interested at all.
Yeah.
He's interested in AC/DC.
Yep.
I don't mean he's, doesn't know people or whatever, but it's not his thing, the name the names of every band that's out there,
Yeah. Well, you don't
and the
really see
members.
him get up and jam with other bands ever.
I think he got up with Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. The ones he does the one song with the Guns, like, yeah, anytime he's around, yeah.
Yeah. So, he does jam.
Yep.
Yeah, that's jamming. Um, and he jams like hell on stage,
Yeah.
as you know.
Now, timeline. What is the plans moving forward? Touring, more music? You've only
Yeah,
just got the album out, but what are the plans?
we've never stopped touring. We've been together 12 years. We work all over Europe mainly. Um, so like last weekend, we were in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
We're based in the UK. Last weekend, we were in Italy. A week's time, we go to the south of France. After that is Germany. 3 months ago, we were in Poland and Czech Republic. We do Eastern Germany a lot.
Okay.
They just seem to like us that over that part of the world.
Right.
We play all over Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Spain. So and we love playing live. I particularly love playing live, and so do the guys. I love being on the road. I've been on the road since I was 16. And I'm 25 now. So
Perfect.
I've been doing it a long time.
You don't look a day over 17, though.
Say again.
You don't look a day over 17.
No, of course, no.
No,
I agree with you completely.
exactly. So, Chris, do you think we will see you in Australia with the band?
I would love to. I know you do, but some people just don't understand that you got to have an invitation
Yes.
from a promoter to do that. You know, you can't just say, I want to go to Australia, right? Oh, we haven't got an invite. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's not
So,
cheap.
no, it's not. And these days, money is a bit scarce when it comes to putting stuff on.
Yeah.
And I wish promoters would get the idea that people are going to buy up front anymore, because they ain't.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we haven't done it to us, but you know, ticket sales are low. How long before the show? Oh, 2 months, and you're expecting people to lay out like 40 or 100 and whatever pound, and 2 months before the show.
Yep.
And then they're going to pay you, and then you are going to pull the plug on the show because there's no advance ticket sales.
Yep.
You promoters, you guys have got to get yourselves together, because it's not the old days now. Maybe the last 10, 12, 15 years, people are bought up front. They won't anymore because they don't have any money. And they got to spend it on food first, and maybe one concert a year.
Yep.
And so you can't charge outrageous prices, and the ticket touts buy them all up and sell them, try to sell them outside the venue. Those days are gone, man.
Yeah.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. So, it's a different world now suddenly since COVID.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Chris, I'm going to leave you for now, and I reckon we need to catch up, and maybe in the future we can push an Australian tour. And as you say, get out and buy the tickets, buy the CD, show your support. But thank you for your time. Thank you for the music. And
Thank you.
never apologize to Bruce Springsteen.
Hey, Bruce, sorry, man.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
but I'm
mate.
not going to apologize.
No, it was well worth it.
Okay, here's Timescape.
Thank you, Chris. Have a
So,
great day.
thanks, Andrew. Thanks, mate.
See ya.
Great. Bye for
Bye.
now.